Hey, I'm Casey Laughlin, owner of Texas Outdoor Oasis. I'm here with our pool designers today. We got Kurt, Michael, and Josh. We're going to talk a little bit about our company and as far as the process and designing pools and just what to expect when you hire Texas Outdoor Oasis. Just a little bit about our company. This is our 22nd year in business. We specialize in pools, outdoor living, and landscape. I think what sets us apart in the market is our white glove treatment. We excel in project management and communication. The attention to detail and the fact that our project managers and our salespeople are with the customer through the whole process. We're not just designing something, dumping it on someone else to take over from there. So I want to introduce you to Kurt first. Kurt Chastain's been a designer with us here for a few years. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we'll ask him a couple of questions.
Hi, I'm Kurt Chastain. I've been in the pool business for close to 10 years, and I've been here for just about 4. So yeah, it's a great company to work for, and great environment, great people, good ownership. So yeah, that's me.
Kurt, what do you feel like makes us, when a homeowner's trying to pick a builder out in the market, obviously there's production builders, there's low budget builders, there's high end builders. Where do we fit in that market, and what makes you think, why do you think we excel in that area?
Yeah, I think we got a niche build, or a niche customer base, which is kind of not super high end, but we're definitely not low end. We're kind of upper middle, I would say, where we're not building projects that cost $1 million, but we're not building 150, 300 pools a year, whatever it is. So we're not a company that's going to build, a bulk. We're not a bulk builder. So, yeah.
We're seeing most of our projects, as of current 2023 market, we're seeing them range anywhere from 100 to 500,000. It's kind of our niche market for clients that really want that white glove experience and not just kind of dumped off and no communication, no project management. We found a real niche market here that we try to specialize within. As far as the customer experience, can you talk about how the designer would stay involved and why it's important to have the designer involved through the whole process of the build?
Yeah, so that's something I think that we do really well at, is keeping most pool builders. You're going to deal with a guy like me, and then after the sale is made, then you're going to get shuffled off to a construction department and become a number. You're not going to have any real connection with your person who's building your pool. We stay involved throughout the build. I'm not building your pool for you. We have project managers, but we're all involved in a group text. So I know what's going on with the projects that I've designed, and our project management is great with communication. So I visit job sites frequently. I make sure that anything that may go wrong is addressed as soon as possible, which it's construction. That's what happens. But yeah, we're on top of it, which is something you don't feel like you're a number. I know I've said that, but that's what you get with most pool builders is you deal with me and then I'm gone, and that's not how we roll. So
what I've noticed since you've been here is staying involved through the whole process. You've become actually somewhat friends with some of these customers. Yeah. I'll notice you guys are Facebook friends. They're commenting on some of your projects that you're still working on current to date. More building relationships than a customer base. So yeah. I thought that's been real impressive to watch you grow that relationship.
Yeah, it's good to meet people. Clientele here are amazing, so it goes both ways. The majority of people that I get to see here and the customers that I get to deal with are great people to work for too. So yeah, having people appreciate and actually building a relationship with people and earning referrals is really important to me. So the fact that I get to stay involved gets to ensure that my customers will recommend me and in turn recommend the company to multiple people, and everybody's happy.
Absolutely, that's how the wheels work. Michael, we're going to move on to you. Michael's a fairly new designer with us, but has already come in here and made his presence felt. Brought some new processes, and just really happy with what he's doing so far. Michael, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Michael. I started in the pool industry in 2004, and I've been designing since 2016.
And what I have noticed is that you're very fast paced. You move, you get the lead in, you make quick work of it. You know on ones that you've sold, you're quick at getting designs out, plans out. You know, really moving through the process fast. You can really tell you know what you're doing. Plans have been great. What I'd like for you to discuss a little bit about today is typically when a customer's entering the pool market, whether they've owned a pool before or haven't, they're building that pool with a specific need in mind. Are they trying to entertain a family? Are they trying to build it for kids to teach them how to swim? Is it grandparents building for grandchildren? Is it you know, building it for fitness? You know, we're seeing more and more of the spa jets or the swim jet type applications, building it more for fitness and wellness. So if you would go into the process a little bit about what information homeowners need to be considering when they're choosing what type of pool they're wanting to build.
So one of the first questions I ask is, who's the pool going to be for? You know, if it's for kids, how many friends do they plan on having over, things like that. That way we can size it appropriately. And also, if it is for little kids, design it in a way to where it's a little safer than it would be for adults, without like sharp corners and things like that. But I've done pools for people that do triathlons, and so that way we have the swim jets and things like that for them to swim in place. But a lot of people with kids try to make it like a play pool style, but if they're older kids, you know, maybe we'll do a deep end and something to jump off of. But yeah, that's the nice thing about being here is we're not afraid to kind of push the envelope on our designs and do something really custom to fit that person's particular needs.
Sure. Yeah, it's a lot. You know, you got to take that in consideration. That it's not a one size fits all. It's not just plop one pool from one backyard to the next, and that's how the design's going to work out. We really need to build it for your lifestyle. What I think too, the outdoor living area. I think some of the other builders you've been with don't excel as much in the outdoor living category. We actually came into the business through outdoor living, so it really expands your capability to really design these spaces, you know, the outdoor living and the landscape, and make it the full package.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that drew me here was that it is kind of a one-stop shop with outdoor living, landscaping. You know, basically when we're done with the pool, everything's done. There's nothing else to do on the list besides buy some patio furniture and, you know, start the party.
Enjoy, dive in. That's absolutely right. We're going to move on to Josh. Josh is one of our seasoned designers, been with us for a few years now, and introduce yourself.
My name's Josh. I've been in the pool industry for about 7 years now. Been with Texas Outdoor Oasis going on 3 years. Great company to work for. Super happy, laid back. We're here with our customers being first priority, making sure we bring their dreams and expectations to the floor. As our company saying is, from concept to creation, we're here for you and to try to make it run as smooth as possible.
That's right. Josh, I'd like to ask you to elaborate maybe a little bit on our process. What does a customer, when they call our office, you know, the phone call is going to start with Gloria or Amanda in the front. They're going to assign a lead out, right? It's going to go into our CRM, and it's going to be assigned to one of our designers. Josh, if you just kind of walk us through the process from there, like what kind of information the homeowner needs to have for the first appointment, you know, discuss budgets, you know, just what information are you looking for from that first phone call?
So once we get the lead, we try to get to you same day, make contact, talk to you about budgets, kind of style, get a good idea of what it is you're looking for. It is good to talk budgets over the phone. That way, you know, we can kind of be on the same page when it comes to the designing process. You know, when we get to designing, we're trying to take your ideas with a little bit of our ideas and make it work, make it, you know, it doesn't always go as planned. If you have a flat yard, but you want something that's going to be built 5 feet out of the ground, it doesn't work. So, you know, we got to take our knowledge and put it towards a design, which we produce to you in a 3D CAD program, and, you know, try to make it as flawless as possible and functional.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something you mentioned there. A lot of things go into it. There's accessibility into the property. You know, it's are you dealing with flat ground? Are you dealing with cutting into a slope? Are you dealing with a slope that runs away from the house? So it's not a one size fits all. So sometimes you know, we like to say, hey, we can do whatever, we can bring your dream to reality, but reality is we have to work with the palette that we're starting with. So, so that's being able to take that homeowner's vision, like you say, bring our expertise in it and make sure that we're not going to get them in trouble with
and that's what makes every pool
faulty project.
unique is basically their yard. You're building something off of their property to make it work.
Absolutely. This is kind of something we didn't discuss before here, kind of getting into, but let's talk about like material selections. What goes after the initial phone call? Kind of how's the rest of the process work? And I'll let any of you step in right there that would like to.
So after we get the initial design, we have you come in, we go over it again on a 3D CAD program, have it priced out for you. We'll show you materials such as tiles, stone, veneer decking, and we'll make those adjustments, on the spot. So when you're here, we'll have the initial design, but if you see something you like more than what we have in our program, then we'll make those changes and adjust the cost accordingly.
Sure. The software can basically show you exactly how the pool's gonna look when it's done. That way you're not surprised by how it's gonna look. It is a cartoon, but it gets still pretty close. So that way if you wanna see the difference between grays and whites versus beiges and tans, we can show you that with a pretty close rendering of your house with the brick and the windows in place and things like that. That way you can see it from all angles.
That's the great thing about Pool Studio. They're constantly updating and honing in their software, which makes you guys as designers really be able to show this thing. Like we can dial that house in, the structures, outdoor living, really get a feel for the functionality as well as the look.
And really go next level too with the landscaping. With our professional landscaper, he'll tell us the name of the particular plant and where to put it in the rendering, so that way we won't just show you these crazy tropical plants that won't even work in our kind of climate. So again, when we show you what could be there, it's a realistic expectation and not just some dream that, hey, this might work or might not work.
I didn't realize that when we got into the pool industry, started hiring designers to come in with us, that a lot of the pool designers, even great pool designers, really don't know much about landscape, and that's my background. So it didn't make much sense to me from the get-go, but it is great to have a design professional on staff that can take their renderings, teach too. We're obviously constantly educating in-house, trying to learn more about it, but we can make sure that what you're seeing is proper plant selection for our area, proper size selection. There's a lot that goes into the landscape portion of it. So Josh, so we've been through what the initial phone call looks like, the design process. They come in, say that customer decides to buy from us. Can you walk us through kind of the next phase?
Yeah, so we'll get your permitting, we'll get your plans together for HOA and for city permits, need be. Once we get those back, typically it's a 2 to 4 week process to get those back. We get you on the construction schedule. Basically, we set up a pre-construction meeting. That's where you meet your project manager. He's the one that's going to do all the timelines as far as excavation. Again, like Curtin said earlier, we're in a group text, so we're all in the same loop. As far as the construction process. Typical builds 3 months on a pool spa. If you're doing outdoor living, structures, landscaping, you can go anywhere 4 to 5 months, all weather depending. So you just got to bear with us through the whole construction process. It is a mess, but it's the end result is what you're waiting for.
Yeah, that's a great point. I hear in the marketplace sometime, people bragging about knocking out a pool in 25 days, 30 days. We've set in enough education now to know that there's different cure times for different materials, and it's not feasible to build a pool in 28 days or 28 days is kind of the key timeline for gunite curing, that kind of deal. But there's some other timelines that we work with, such as tile and coping. A lot of people will gunite a pool, and then immediately the next day you see tile and coping crews on site. Through our education, we've learned that's not the proper process. There should be a 2-week waiting period, a water curing period for gunite before tile and coping is even installed. So we're honing our practices constantly through education and trying to stay up above standard. Standard is pretty much what you should be doing. That's the baseline. We don't want to be standard. We want to accelerate above standard, build above standard projects, focusing heavily on energy efficiency, That's one thing we've been pushing real hard on is making these pools as energy efficient as possible, because that's what's really going to affect the homeowner in the long run is the cost of ownership, as well as the structural integrity of it. We do things such as all 1/2-inch steel. We're tying them tighter on the floors than most pool builders do. We're adding a lot to the structure, to the bones of the pool. So Josh, so after that's turned over to that project manager, you guys stay involved through the whole process as far as staying in that group text and
Absolutely.
job site visits.
Yep. If anything's needed, let's say you have a construction question and you go through that group text. If the project manager, is busy and can't get a hold of you, us as a designer still being part of the processes, we can get you an answer. It keeps everybody in the loop and it just makes it run a lot smoother. The communication. So as long as if I'm, as a homeowner, getting an answer quickly or in a timely manner is expected.
Sure.
So instead of relying on one person for an answer, you got several people to rely on. So communication is key.
Yeah, very good.
Especially with that disaster in your backyard, you want to know what's going on and what's next.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. Something we've recently implemented is job site cameras. We do have the ability to put a live job site camera on your project to where it's going to be recording anytime there's motion going on. So if there's something happens in the backyard and you're questioning who did this or how this happened, we'll have documentation of that. And we can actually grant access to homeowners to be able to have that as well, I believe. So that's something new to us, but happy to have that out in the field on a few projects already. So at the end of the project, we're going to have a post-con meeting, right? Can you just talk about how those go or what that typically looks like?
So at the post-con meetings, we come it's prior to plaster, which is typically the last thing we do on the project. We show up. It's basically a satisfactory punch list, essentially. We're asking the homeowner, A, are they satisfied? B, is there anything that needs to be corrected? And just walk the whole project with them. Our customers are our lifeline, essentially. So we want to make sure they're happy. Referrals are a big thing for us. So, happy customers, makes that a happy experience.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
it's, we try to walk you through the whole thing. After we do that meeting, we have the plaster, which is pretty much the completion, fill it up with water, and then we get you started through pool school and everything.
So it's so basically we have a pre-plaster walkthrough that we're going to walk through with that homeowner, make sure they're 100% satisfied with anything. Two choices from there: we can either plaster the pool with an IOU list on some minor detail punch-out items, whatnot that need to be fixed, or because that plaster is typically the last phase of a pool, that homeowner has the option to say, hey, I want everything finished prior to plaster, because the last payment is going to be due prior to plaster,
Right.
typically, unless there's a landscape contract on the back end or something like that we're working through. But yeah, so we're going to do that pre-plaster walkthrough. We're going to have that signed off satisfaction that they're happy to either move forward or fix these items before moving forward. Once the construction is 100% complete, we are still going to have a post-construction meeting. Kurt, you actually went on one today. Super excited. Everybody was super excited.
Yeah,
That was an awesome
great.
job that you guys turned out. Tell us how that went, or how that
It's
went.
great. Beautiful backyard, huge project in Sunnyvale with dream customers. Everybody's smiling. I have a drone that I fly around to get some aerial pictures done. Brandon, our project manager, one of our project managers, was there. Bo, our landscape designer, was there. It's basically just everybody celebrating getting through this, project together and making sure everybody's happy. And everybody was all smiles on that one, which is what we're aiming for. So, we love making people happy. And one of the things that the homeowner told me was how excited her daughter was and how she wished she could have taken a video of her daughter sitting on the back patio the night before, and how it's her favorite part of the house. The backyard is her favorite part of their house. They just built a house this past year, so yeah.
It really is an extension of your space.
Yeah.
Like it's it's not just something to go out and dip your toes in every once in a while. It becomes an extension of your home, and we see people getting great satisfaction out of it. Michael, do you have anything else to throw in there?
No, just some of the things I appreciate about here is it's a group effort from all of us. Even designing the pool, more often than not, we all get together and look at it together as a team and gives each other suggestions. on design and even pricing, so that way we're pricing it right, not overcharging or undercharging for anything. You know, everything's precise and itemized. The homeowner gets to see that itemized list too, to see exactly what they're paying for. But even down, like I said, to the landscaping, we get them involved. That way we know what to put in there. You know, that way when the pool again is finished, you see that plant that was there. We don't come back and say, well, you can't plant that there because it's not good for the pool or anything like that. And then yeah, some of the processes we have in place, like other pool companies don't brush the plaster for you when the pool's done. They don't set up soaker hoses to water the gun out for you during the curing process. They don't do sprinkler system reroutes. They don't resod the yard. They don't put your fence back up. And we're a full turnkey process, you know, for these $100,000 up pools that we're doing.
Right. Something you mentioned there that caught my attention was the fact that we're given itemized estimates. And when we say itemized, we mean down to, you know, where every penny's going that you're spending on your project. We run off an Excel spreadsheet. Everything is very detailed. I have seen some other estimates that, you know, customers will hand us sometimes, and maybe it's just a big figure, and really you don't know as the consumer, where's your money going? You know, how did they come up with that price? We're gonna present you with a 4 to 5 page estimate, really is what it is, that's gonna have it broken down by line item, and you're gonna see by category where every dime is going. And at the end of the project, you know, we from time to time say, hey, you know, maybe we had a couple extra valves on there or something like that wasn't needed, or you know, overcharged somewhere, you know, could happen on the contract, and say, oh yeah, man, credit that back. So it keeps us transparent. Right. You know where your money's going, and really you can feel comfortable that this thing was set down and estimated with a lot of thought in mind, not just, hey, I think that'll cost about this, we're gonna throw some numbers at it and hope they buy it.
Right.
So guys, does anybody else have any input on?
No, I think it's great.
So anyways, Texas Outdoor Oasis, check us out.